Good evening everybody and welcome back once again to Inside Line Racing. It's round 6 and it's the jewel in the crown of the Formula 1 calendar. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. It's going to be a hell of an interesting one because, as you can see, it is very, well not quite soaking wet, but it's certainly greasy out there. It's raining in this tiny little country, the Principality of Monaco. We wind our way up and down through the streets of this tiny little country. The track pretty much takes up the entirety of this little nation. Of course, it's one of the few tracks on the calendar to have been used in every single season of Formula 1 since its inception in 1950. But who's going to come out on top in this very, very tricky qualifying session? It's hard enough trying to keep the car between the barriers in the dry, but now they got to do it in the wet conditions. So as you can see, Corey is leading the way at the moment in this qualifying train, just getting himself set up for a lap around this circuit right here. So let's take an onboard lap around this Monaco circuit. So into the last corner, Anthony Nogues, and on the way down towards turn number 1, down towards Sandoval, named after the little church that's nestled in on the left hand side in the runoff area. Down the gears, into second gear, uses as much of the curb as he can, getting sideways into the wall already. Goes Corey, might get away with that as he comes up Beau Rivage and into Massenet as we head into the main square here in Monaco. Into the left-hander, there's the casino right here, we're coming through Casino Square. Through the right-hander, getting a little bit sideways and down the hill, very tricky corner. Watch that bump on the exit and through Mirabeau now. Very, very tricky corner, and it's the slowest corner on the F1 calendar, the Lowe's hairpin. Down to first gear, down to nearly 30 miles an hour. Waiting as he exits through towards Portier, where Ayrton Senna famously binned it from a 40-second lead and into the tunnel. The only underground corner on the F1 calendar, which is interesting to note. Through this long ride, tricky in the wet as well because it's completely dry under there, and into the Nouvelle chicane. Watch for that barrier on the inside. On the exit then, onto the power as much as he can, down towards Tabac. Slow corner in the wet. And in through the swimming pool section now. Taking it pretty easy. Got to get tight to that barrier on the right hand side. Corey skips the corner. You can get away with that a little bit on this game, so he wants to watch that. In through Rascas now, the last corner. And in through Anthony Nogues, which is on the right hand side there. Your pit entry right here. Very, very tricky. Got to get it slowed down in time. So, that wasn't quite a timed lap, but C1000 Zach goes fastest and was immediately beaten by Foxy Dude. Just a quick update on the championship. So, after last round, it is Scuba who leads the title by 7 points over Speedster. Now, you may notice, crucially, Scuba is missing today. So, it is an opportunity for Speedster to regain some ground in the championship, as well as Calzo and Zach. Now, we also have Matt Tibos not with us as well, so there's a couple of drivers missing. But we have some penalties that are being brought over from last round. Zenki, you may know, is missing off of the grid, and he is serving a race ban. That is the first race ban that has been dished out. We're only 6 rounds in, but it was due to causing a DNF of a driver by a dangerous track rejoin. Now that seems familiar if you've seen the Italian Grand Prix earlier today. And just a warning to CC Brain for weaving down the straights, I think, or something like that. But he managed to keep his podium, so CC Brain picking up his first podium of the season last time out. That's all the reports. We have a driver that is banned from, or serving a race ban from this race, so if they pick up any more infringements, they could see themselves blacklisted from the league. But that's not what we're focusing on today. We're focusing on the title battle, and we're focusing who's going to win in the Monaco Grand Prix today. As I said, Scuba leading the title by 7 points over Speedster. Cal's only 9 points off the championship lead as well. He's there in third. He did not start the last race. He's got some ground to make up. T1000 Zach, 3 second places in a row. Can he pick up another one, or can he go one better today? Matt Tibos, of course, not with us today. DNF last time out as well. Alfie as well, another good performance from him last time out. Managed to pick up 4th place. And then we have Tom, who's 7th in the title. Paco, CC Brain, and Super Guy are your top 10 in the title races. We were 6 rounds into this 21 race calendar. Still a long, long way to go. Now, back to qualifying. there is Super Guy on 120.875, says the fastest lap of qualifying so far. So there's 16 drivers on the grid with us today. So Super Guy from Foxy did, from CC Brain, from Zach, from Ollie, from NSX Bass, who should have got a better result last time. I was just involved in an instant or two, which cost him a nice result. Afri there, filling in for Matt Tibos today in the... he's filling in for Matt Tibos or Scuba, because neither of the Mercedes are actually here. I think I've just noticed they're being filled in by some reserve drivers here, so they're going to be picking up points for the constructors, because it is actually Mercedes who lead the constructors title at the moment. Just getting held up behind Nick right here in the Red Bull up ahead. So you can just see these cars are 2 meters long, and they've got to keep them between the barriers, got to negotiate them quickly through the barriers here in Monaco. So Dark Bold right there, Corey, he's not on that now. Of course, this is a very easy track for ERS, because you're not going to be using a hell of a lot of it. You're just going to be unleashing it down here. Just one DRS zone on this track, not that it's very effective, down towards turn 1. And of course, with the wet session that we have right here, free choice of tyres for every single driver on the track that are involved in the session. Very, very high chance of a safety car, of course. We tend to see them quite often because crashes tend to clog up the track as you head into any of these corners, really. But we'll be waiting to see whether the safety car makes an appearance. It has done it on 2 occasions this season. We've seen the virtual safety car a couple of times, but we haven't quite seen the safety car in a little while. But there is a very high chance of it appearing today. It's just a fair sideways moment from one of the Haas's right there. I think that was Mikulitsi. I just saw Dartbolt's missing a massive chunk of his front wing there. That was actually T1000 Zach, who was getting sideways on the edge of Casino. Down the hill towards Portier now. Looks like he's on a fast lap at the moment. Having to take it very, very easy on the throttle. Running through the right-hander, getting it all sorted out. Down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Watch for that barrier on the inside. Get as close as you can. Don't run over the curb too much, as it will get you a penalty. Expect plenty of corner cut penalties as a result of that chicane. Through to back. Nicely taken from Zach right there. Looks very, very comfortable. Curb a little bit. Sorts it all out through the swimming pool. Up towards Raskas. Looks nice and comfortable in that Haas as he heads towards Anthony Nogues. Looks like a very, very clean, tidy lap from Zach. Runs towards the line. Where's it going to put him? It's going to put him pole. 120.5. It looks smooth. It looks steady. And it was fastest by 0.3 of a second from T. Zach. Can he grab his first pole position this season? And a couple of drivers still yet to set their laps. Alfie, one to watch. As I say every week. A dark horse. Always there. Not the greatest qualifier. He picks it up in the race. But this is a track where you need to get the qualifying. You need to get it spot on, because you're going to have some trouble. It's a very, very tricky track to overtake. It's possible, but it's not as open as other circuits on the calendar. Here comes Alfie running to the line. Where is this going to put him? It's going to put him 6th fastest, 121.3, but it's a whole 0.7 of a second, or nearly 0.8 of a second off of the pole time of T1000 Zach. That's a fantastic lap from Zach in these intermediate conditions. And through the swimming pool. Raskas' little bar on the in Raskas right there on the right hand side, literally on the corner. You might see some people standing there with drinks. It's a great place to watch the Grand Prix, as is anywhere on this circuit really. If you own an apartment anywhere, especially in the apartment complex which is on the exit of the Lowe's Hairpin, you get a fantastic view of the track. But I don't think we want to spend millions on those, because pretty much that's how much they're worth. A lot of the F1 drivers actually live around Monaco. It's a popular place for them to live. And interestingly enough, the screen that used to block off the harbour view on the exit of Portier is removed off this game. Didn't quite notice that. So that is now gone. Of course, there's been drivers who had an excursion into the harbour one time. we've had drivers flip off into the harbour back in the 50s. That was super guy just had to. You can just see how a small mistake can affect you. Little tap on the barrier unsettles the car, and you can have a lot of ping pong moments between the barriers here. So into the pits comes super guy. So at the moment we're looking on course for a new pole sitter, which would be a welcome sight. So here we're looking at Paco, of course, on his way through Portier in the Red Bull Honda. So I'm just going to look through and just see the different pole sitters we've had. Round 1, of course, we're looking back a couple of weeks now, but round 1 was a Speedster on pole for Australia, Scuba on pole for Bahrain. Then round 3 for China, I believe it was it Scuba on pole as well? No, it was Calzo on pole, so 3 different pole sitters in the first 3 rounds. Round 4 was Speedster again, and round 5, I remember, was Medium Pilots. So we're due a new pole sitter today. So Medium Pilot, of course, not with us today. It qualified on, as I said, qualified on pole for the Spanish Grand Prix, but unfortunately only managed to make it through turn 1. His race was done in turn 2. He put it in the wall on the exit right there. So unfortunate for him, but he isn't with us today. Neither is Scuba, neither is Matt Tibos, and neither is Zenki. So that is the drivers that are missing. Zenki, of course, serving a race ban for his incident in But our championship leader, of course, again, as I said, not with us. So Speedster, golden opportunity, 7 points behind him to pick up some points and retake the championship lead. So the championship is chopping and changing quite a lot here as drivers start to miss races, which could come back to haunt them. Darkbolt, P2, 120.8, but Speedster bangs in a 120.1. Great lap from Speedster. And could he take his 3rd pole of the season with that lap? Looks very, very comfortable in that Alfa Romeo, and pole means a hell of a lot around this circuit. So he's just going slowly towards the lowest hairpin. So Zach, P2, so he managed to displace Darkbolt, who was briefly in P2, but Zach improved slightly to a 120.50, which popped him ahead, but is still 0.3 of a second for Zach to find to get his first pole position of the season. But I'm sure he'd be happy with another 2nd place, but he's just been unable so far to go one better. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left of qualifying here in Monaco, and we're now seeing the final preparation stages, the final qualifying laps. And especially with all the drivers out on track, it's going to get crowded with drivers trying to find space. No qualifying bans today, so there's nobody that needs to sit out the session. So Corey yet to set a lap. Looks like he's struggling with potentially track limits or whatever. So he coming through to back. He's on an out lap, so Speedster coming through the bottom of the hill down towards Mirabeau, just taken to the escape road, Nico Rosberg style. Was one of the Haas cars, I think that was. We all remember that infamous session from Monaco. Nico Rosberg causing a yellow flag, which stopped Lewis Hamilton on his pole lap. It's a well-used escape road, but it's very, very useful, especially on lap 1 when things get a little bit tight for space. Let's see if Speedster can improve on his lap. Just watch him. No, it's sideways. Has to be easy on the throttle. Of course, no traction control allowed in ILR2. So it's especially tricky. Look how much speed you just carried through swimming pool right there. Really nice stuff. Looks very, very settled and comfortable in that Alpha. Coming through Anthony Noakes. There's the DRS line. No DRS in the wet conditions, of course. Here comes Speeds to the line. Can he improve on a 120.1? 119.7. So Speedster looks incredibly comfortable. He's happy with that. He's retired immediately. 119.7 is the benchmark. Can anybody come close to that? He's nearly a second faster than the rest. CC Brain, 120.6. Annihilating the field in the wet conditions. What can Zach do? He's on an outlap now, so he's got one opportunity. It's Alfie. Great qualifying. He's improving 120.698 because a couple of hundredths off of CC Brain. So, just saw Alfie going a little bit wide into the lowest hairpin. I think he was trying to get out of the way of somebody right there. So a bit unfortunate, but he's managed to keep himself. He's avoided some wing damage. So he's currently P4. Zach begins his final qualifying lap. Can he improve to a 119.7? It's a big ask. It's a massive benchmark that Speedster has set. Corey we just saw retiring. Just see Foxy Dude improves to second, 120.0. So it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2. To be a first. Zach, here he comes through the lowest hairpin, so anybody close to the end of their lap. Super Guy on his run to the line, can he improve? Third fastest, 120.440, pops ahead of Zach. Now it is getting crowded out on track at the moment. Ollie coming through the swimming pool section, very committed. Just Tom up ahead of him. Just keep an eye on Tom, actually, as he comes through in the Renault. Looking to get himself off of the last row of the grid. Here he comes. Goes to 12th. Ollie goes to 10th fastest. Who else is on their way to the lap? Calzo coming through. And Zach has backed off. So Calzo, where is he going to go? Can he pull a lap out of the bag at the very dying moments of qualifying? He goes to 12th fastest. What about NSX Bass? Is he on a timed lap at all, or is he going to head into the pit lane? He heads at the pit lane. Speedster on pole for the third time this season. And an Alfa Romeo 1-2 for the first time this season as well, with Super Guy just behind. But what a lap from Speedster. 119.736. Nobody else could match him. And an excellent lap from him. So, a Livid Racing 1-2, the 119.7 to a 120.0. And it's then Super Guy from Zach from Dark Bolt popped into P5 at the last. CC Brain, Alfie, Nick, Mikulitsi inside the top 10, and Paco. With Ollie P11, Calzo, Bass, Tom, Afri, Odeer, and Corey on the very back of the grid. So the official rundown of qualifying: Speedster from Foxy Dude in P2, Super Guy in 3rd, Zach in 4th, and Darkbolt 5th, CC Brain in 6th, Alfie 7th, Nick in 8th, Mikulitsi is 9th, and Paco is 10th, Ollie P11, Calzo in 12th, NSX Bass in 13th, Tom in 14th, Afri in 15th, and Corey, with no real representative lap time, starts 16th and last on the grid. He's got a bit of a job to do. and a dry session. So let's get ready then. Formation lap begins for the Monaco Grand Prix. Two Alfa Romeos lead the way. Speedster on pole for the third time this season. Foxy Dude P2. Let's have a quick look at the tyre strategy. I don't think it's going to be anything too different. Well, Speedster starts on the medium tyre. Foxy Dude and P2. Super Guy on the softs in P3. T1000 Zach. P4 on the grid on the medium compound tyre. Dark Bolt P5. CC Brian P6. Alfie P7. Nick in P8. Mikulitsi in P9, and all the medium compound runners at the back, really, apart from Tom, is opted for the soft tyres, want some early pace in this race. Paco P10, Ollie P11, Calzo P12, NSX Bass in P13, Tom in P14, as everybody slows up through the Lowe's hairpin. What a great shot that is. Corey just ran into the back of Afri, so he's going to get disqualified, as is Afri. But let's have some predictions now. How many finishers are we predicting for this race? Speedster needs to start. It's a very, very short run to turn 1. It's one of the shortest on the calendar. So if your reaction times are not there, then you're going to lose out massively. We've seen some amazing moves over the years in ILR2 right here. If you remember, Flexi making a move for his first ever win in ILR right here at Rascasse. Up the inside, and a stunning move it was as well. Of course, we've seen in other tiers as well. Wes going around the outside of Massenet at the top of the hill. So there's been plenty over the years. Are we going to see even more stunning moves and a stunning race around Monaco? Let's see. Waiting for Tom is going to be the last car to line up on the grid in the Renault. Speedster on pole. Scuba leads the championship. Can he swing it back in his favour today? It's round 6 of ILR2. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. 5 red lights in front of the drivers. Lights out, and away we go. Speedster gets away well. Foxy Dude gets away well. Pulls alongside. Foxy does the run towards turn 1 with the extra grip on the softs. Runs wide, but Speedster holds on. Dark Bolt up to P3 after Super Guy's had a problem falling down to P5. And there's a huge pile up in the background. There's cars stopped in the middle of the road as they run up towards Massenet for the first time. Who was involved in that? Looked like it was Zach potentially, and a couple of other guys involved. CC Brain all the way down to P12. He's lost his front wing. Look at that. There's no front wing on that McLaren. So whatever happened, we didn't quite see what happened right there, but absolute carnage already. But Speedster not getting the best getaway. Foxy Dude following him and pulling alongside as they went into turn 1 with the extra grip on the soft tyre, but just couldn't find the room on the outside. Dark Bolt is third. Great start from him. Alfie into 4th place. Super Guy drops down to 5th. Nick in P6. Zach is all the way down to P7. Mikulitsi pretty much where he was. Paco P9. Ollie up 1 position from where he started in P10. Cal's up P11. Corey's up to 12th from the back of the grid. Great start from him. Bast in P13. Tom's up to P14 now, and he's lost a bit of his front wing. Right there, just saw a bit of yellow flying off of his car, so he's lost a bit of front wing. Afri's P15. CC Brown with no front wing on the car is P16, but Speedster opening the gap already. 9/10 of a second. Already trying to break DRS, pulling away from Foxy Dude, and Darkbolt looking like he's got some pace in that Mercedes. 4/10 of a second, nearly 3/10 of a second off the back of Foxy Dude. DRS pretty much ineffective around this track, so it's got to be done on the brakes and in slipstream. And Super Guy on the back of Alfie right there. You can see on the back of the racing point, the Williams chasing it. Zach up on the back of Nick as well. So the guys who made poor starts are trying to get themselves back. So you can see Corey up from the back of the grid up to P11. And here comes Super Guy going for a move in the Nouvelle Chicane. Has to back off of it. It's very, very tricky to make a move right there. And tricky to find some room in the background. Just see the Red Bull of Nick with Zach following him and his team and his Haas teammate Mikulitsi with Paco and Ollie behind him. Great shots as the car fly through swimming pool. And Super Guy right up underneath the racing point right here. Doesn't quite get the exit. Getting the slipstream out. Mode 5. Here comes Super Guy. Going for the move up the inside of Sandevot. And Alfie doesn't really fight that one. Super Guy is through to 4th place. Recovering after his lap 1 incident. So through Massenet they come for the first time. The 3rd time I should say. And now he needs to latch himself onto the back of Dark Bull, but Speedster is checking out up front 2.1 seconds already, and do not forget he's on the harder compound tyre to the rest of these guys. He's on the mediums, but I wonder, is Foxy Dude playing the cork in the bottle here? Is he backing these guys away so that Speedster can get himself up the road? But Dark Bull needs to find some pace. He needs to get past Foxy Dude as quick as he can. Those Alfa Romeos running 1 and 2, looking comfortable at the moment. Now let's go back to Nick, who's chasing after. Sorry, excuse me. That's Zach chasing after Nick. Mikulitsi, reserve driver, following suit with Paco up behind him as well. He misses the chicane, and Ollie kind of pick up the pieces as well. Now Corey's just picked up a penalty, but he's now latched onto the back. Paco is in. Is that for damage? Let's have a look. Or is he switching to the hard tyre? Okay, he's going to get a new front wing and a set of the hard compound tyre, so expect him to go to the end of the Grand Prix. And he's unfortunately left the session. So Paco, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but he's left the session. Let's see if he can get back in. Not technically a retirement just yet. So Dark Bull just saw close the gap to half a second on Foxy Dude, but the gap in front to 3 seconds. Speedster's pulling a second a lap on the mediums. So it looks like the tyre to be on right now. But he's going to be following for a long time, and he needs to get past because these soft tyres that only last so long. Goes wide into the back, has to back off to avoid hitting the wall. Carrying the speed through swimming pool. Not getting trouble from behind. Super Guy getting about 2 seconds off. Just see him almost touching the back. DRS will be open now for the Mercedes, but there's almost nowhere for it to work. It's completely irrelevant, really. And you can see the gap in front, 4 seconds. Dark Bull has to get past. He's got the pace, but there's no room to get past. Through Massenet for the 5th time of asking. Through Casino. Down towards Mirabeau. And into the Lowe's hairpin. No way through for Dark Bull just yet. Look how close he's getting through the Lowe's hairpin. And through Portier. In reality, he needs to be making the move through Portier, and it looks like NSX Bass has been into the pit lane again, probably for a new front wing. CC Brain trying to make a recovery here, and trying to get past Afri. Paco's not managed to get back into the session. So CC Brain, of course, involved lap 1 instant. We saw him without his front wing completely gone. And Afri just getting past Paco right there. CC Brain mixed up a position as well, but look at the gap, mate. Speedster is absolutely flying out front. 5.2 seconds is the gap out front. And where is Calzo? Calzo's outside the points. This would be a huge gain for him in the championship. Here comes CC Brain on Afri. Moving to the inside of the Nouvelle Chicane on the soft tyre. Can he make it work? Afri leaves him the space. Has to cut the chicane. Picks up a penalty as a result. And Inter Tabac moves out of the way for him. And they continue on their way. Now, is that another front wing change for Corey and for Tom? I believe it is. Let's just have a quick So that's actually their first stop, excuse me. So that's in... Could have been for damage, and it could have been for just to switch off the hard tyre. And Tom just about comes out in front of Calzo. And you see Ollie on the back of Mikuliczi. Getting the helicopter shots as we run towards Tabak. Get an idea of just how narrow this circuit is through this sector. The car barely has enough room to make it through. And just see the sense of speed as well that they carry. And in come Alfie and Zach from their positions. So this will be Zach onto the hard tyre and a front wing change. And Alfie onto the mediums. And a wing change as well. And is Zach going to jump him? That's going to be tight in the pit lane. Alfie just about comes out in front. So Dark Bolt's still stuck behind Foxy Dude here. And Speedster is untroubled. He is just driving away out front. 7.7 seconds. He's gained a second a lap since the beginning of this race. And all he really has to do is to keep it out of the barriers. And not pick up any silly damage. And avoid the penalties as well. Now what has happened to Calzo? Has he made a mistake or has he got damage? Looks like damage on the left hand side of the front wing. It is indeed. He's lost the end plate. So he's dropping down the field. So these guys all out on the hard compound tyre. All these guys down here have all made stops. Now Ollie, tried to make a move with Mikuliczi to turn one. Now he'll get the cut back on Sandevot. But couldn't quite get past us. Now Mikuliczi plants in the middle of the road up towards Massenet. He's going to try it on the inside. Mikuliczi leaves the door open. Ollie sticks his nose in. But nicely held from Mikuliczi now. Down towards Mirabeau. No way through. Nothing stupid. Mikuliczi locks up. Not going to be any move on for him into the Lowe's hairpin. And here we go. Up towards Massenet. Zach trying to go around the outside of Alfie. And he's ahead before they get there. Alfie had to back off. Afri is out of this race as he retired in the pit lane. But Zach makes his way through. On the way up towards Massenet. And Ollie unable to make a move here. Mikuliczi with a mistake. Ollie just biding his time. Shows himself in the mirrors through Tabak. Into the swimming pool section. Looking for, potentially thinking about it through Raskas if he can get a run. Gets into the wall a little bit there. Darkbolt is in for his stop. Miku goes wide. Is he going to try it into the inside of Anthony Knowles? Not quite. And needs the run. Now where's Darkbolt going to come out? Oh dear. Got held in the pit lane right there. His pit crew were not ready for him. And that's an absolute disaster for Darkbolt right there. He's losing so much time. Is he going to come out behind Zach? Darkbolt's on his way and Zach has picked up that position. No fault of Darkbolt's own, but he's now dropped out of contention for the podium. And what a shame for him. So this battle continues anyway. Ollie following Mikuliczi. The gap in front, 11.6 seconds. Unbelievable pace from Speedster. Get this guy well in ILR1. Locks up again for Mikuliczi. Almost 11 laps into this 39 lap race. Foxy Dude pits from P2. The medium runners are going to be going a little bit longer into this race. Into the wall a little bit from Ollie there. Needs to run through Anthony Nogues to have any chance. Mikuliczi, great drive out of Anthony Nogues there. And they continue on, so that's third and fourth for these guys now. Foxy Dude comes out in clean air. Super Guy is there as well. And they are a ways ahead of Zach. So is this where his run of second places comes to an end? It's 22 seconds behind 6th place already. And speaking of a person who's 22 seconds ahead after 10 laps, Speedster. Oh, Darkbolt, he's had a DNF somewhere. Where has he crashed, or is he just retired? Looks like he's been in the swimming pool section. Sector 3, yellow flag. Now, can we see where that's happened? Where has that happened? The yellow flag's being waved here. Didn't quite see where that happened. But he's unfortunately out of this race. Corey is out as well. Now, what's happened? Oh, he's binned it in Mirabeau. Oh, he's just locked up and gone straight on the wall right there. So the first mistakes are starting to hit us now. Corey just making a mistake on the brakes, locking up into Mirabeau. And what a shame for him. He was running very, very well. And he's now out of this race. I'm not sure why the safety car hasn't been deployed. Even a virtual safety car would have been warranted there. But now Ollie is still trying to find a way through past Mikuliczi here. Miku's doing a very, very good job to keep Ollie behind him. But the guys of Foxy Dude and Super Guy are going to be closing in. And they're, of course, in the battle for second place. There's no sign of the medium runners coming in just yet. On board with the racing point of Ollie. CC Brennan and Tom are in it. Tom's in again. So still no way through for Ollie. Into the Nouvelle Chicane. Again a locker for Mikuliczi. Poor exit as well. Ollie a lot cleaner through that section too. In through to back. Miku very slow through the swimming pool right there. Look, has he got wing damage? I wonder. It's not helping him through these high-speed corners. So any drive for Ollie this time. It was closer, but again Mikuliczi gets the drive. So we're staying on board with him as he still tries to chase after Finn here. Through Massenet, Casino. Ollie closing right up to him right there. But they're just so evenly matched on pace. Almost impossible to get past. And you're seeing just the effects of running behind a car for an extended period of time. You just cannot get past around this circuit. Through the Nouvelle Chicane they come once again. So Speedster onto lap 13. He's yet to make a stop. Foxy Dude is the first of the guys who's made a stop. The question is, how far in front is Speedster going to be? Because this is an absolutely ridiculous performance. Here comes Ollie again on the exit, but Miku just gets the drive. And Ollie just cannot get the drive advance he knows that he needs. And Foxy Dude is closing in on those fresh, hard compound tyres. Ollie closing up to the back of Mikuliczi. He's been sitting right here for the past 13 laps and is unable to make his way through. Doesn't bode well for Foxy Dude. He needs to get past both of them. Running through the Lowe's hairpin. Differing lines. And Foxy Dude is now on them, as you can see. The Alfa Romeo right there. It's down towards the Nouvelle Chicane they come for the... It'll be the 13th time for these guys with Speedsters on lap 14. Let's see if Ollie can get the move done. There's no other battles that are happening on circuit at the moment. This is the closest battle we've got on track. Look at the speed through the swimming pool section. Wonderful camera shots right there. Just to get an idea of how quick these guys are throwing these cars around an extremely narrow circuit. And eventually this is going to end up with Super Guy closing in. Ollie with the DRS now. Moves to the end zone. Mikuliczi is going to go deep. Ollie with the switch line and immediately gets past. Eventually he had to do. Can Foxy Dude follow him through now? He's going to get stuck behind Mikuliczi. Going to find the space on the inside of Massenet. So running around the outside. Mikuliczi manages to hold on. But again there's contact on the exit. And Mikuliczi, has he caused wing damage to Foxy Dude's car? Yes, the end plate is off the left hand side, as you can see. You would definitely have at least yellow wing damage from that. So as a result, Super Guy has closed in. So this is going to make for some interesting viewing. But eventually it took a little bit of a dummy move from Ollie, moving to the outside, forcing Mikuliczi to go deep and get the switch back up through Beau Rivage. And he's now surging away. Yes, that is how far Speedster is ahead. 31.6 seconds clear of Nick. So he is a pit stop ahead of the second place man. This is absolutely unbelievable. Now, of course, he is yet to stop, but still, he can pit and come out in the lead. Oh, Calzo's out of this race as well. What has happened to Calzo? One of our championship contenders is out. Scuba is not here. Speeds is in the lead. He's going to gain a lot of points. So this is Tom and CC Brain battling it out for the last points position, with Bass up ahead of them. And Alfie's in the pit lane. He's going to come out in the midst of this. Can he get out in front of Bass? Just about. But now Bass will have the run. This is going to be tricky. Bass is going to have the run. Alfie's got to get used to those tyres. So the battle for 8th place is really heating up now. I'm right on the back and see them in the mirrors. And you can see, there we go, Foxy is in, and that's for wing damage. So that's another one to add to his tally. And Alfie just eking out a gap ahead of Bass, and Tom and CC Brain right behind. So Tom just, I think that's his second corner cut penalty he just picked up a moment ago. Only 12 runners left. Both Mercedes having DNF, so that's a no score for Mercedes in the constructors. Both of their full-time drivers are not with us today. Matt Tibos not here, and Scuba not here. And this could come back to bite them, because Scuba, well not Scuba, Speedster is going to take the championship lead and go ahead by a margin of 18 points after being 7 behind. Which is quite something. So on board with CC Brain, picked up his first podium last time out. Trying to find a way past our season. What season are we on now? Season 6. This will be our season number 3 champion in Tom. I've been here that long. I'm forgetting which season, but Tom, he's a previous champion in ILR2. So he knows the score, very experienced. And Bass cutting the chicane right there, as you can see, and gaining a massive advantage. Now he's picked up a penalty, of course, but really, he should have to drop back and secede a position. So he's gained a lot of ground as a result of that. Now, Super Guy, he is caught up to the back of Mikuliczi, who has yet to stop. He's done 16 laps on those mediums. And we're going to be coming into pit stop territory for the medium runners very, very shortly. Almost halfway through this race. Unless they can push them far enough that they can just bolt on a set of the soft compound tyres and go to the end of the race. So they'll push them quite far. So Super Guy chasing down Mikuliczi here. Zach 5 seconds behind them. The field is just so spread out as a result of whatever happened on lap 1. And Speedster's absolutely alien pace up front. CC Brain picked up a penalty as he chases after Tom. So Tom another corner cut penalty to add to his tally. So, the last thing Speedster needs is a safety car right now. Because that would close the field right back up and it would negate all this hard work. Here comes Super Guy and Mikulitsi into the Nouvelle Chicane. Can he get on the break? Mikulitsi goes wide. Manages to hang on to it. And Super Guy being patient now. What's happened to Tom? Oh dear. Has he been in the wall? I reckon he has. Just dropped a position to Bass and to CC Brain. And Nick pits from second place. And instead of the hard compound tire going on to them. Very quick stop from the Red Bull crew there. He's going to come out behind these two guys. Is he going to come out in front of Zach? This be a good result for him if he can pop. No, he's not going to quite come out in front of Zach. Is he going to come out in front of Foxy Dude? Yes, he does. So he's in completely clean air in a world of his own. Super Guy right on the back of the Haas here. Just unable to find a way through. Sector 2 and Tom is out of this race. And he becomes another addition to the list of retirements. Just saw CC Brain getting into the back of Bass right there. They ran through Anthony Nogues. So we're down to technically 10 classified runners. The Super Guy down the inside of the Nouvelle Chicane finally picks up third place. And Ollie still running in a very, very solid P2 at the moment. Now he's going to drop to about 7th place, but still doing an excellent job where he is. So for those of you who are just joining us, no, you're not seeing things. That is legitimately how far ahead Speedster is. Oh, just as I say that, gets it a little bit wrong. Are his tyres crying enough? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him just bolt into the pit lane right now to be safe. Not quite, gonna push it a little bit longer. I have never seen a more dominant drive than I'm seeing right now from Speedster. 43.9 seconds clear of second place. It's just unbelievable. Everybody else has just had problems behind, and he's just driven away. Now, CC Brain and Bass are having a battle. CC Brain just went around the outside of Saint-Devote, which we saw last season. And a very tricky move to make. He's made it work. He moves into 9th place. So the battle between the Haas teammates looks like it's going to come up soon. Well, it's just to say that Mikulitsi pits from 4th and Zach is going to move into 4th place now. How far is he behind Super Guy? He's 3.7 seconds behind them. So, and he's up with his hard tires are 14 laps old. Nick is 2 lap olds hards. So doesn't look like Zach's gonna have the pace to catch up. Tom pushed too hard. Yes, this is pretty much what I expected from Monaco, but I didn't expect that gap. 45 seconds to P1 from P2, and it's going to be even bigger when we get to the pit stops. He's going to be nearly a minute clear when we come to the pit stops, when Ollie eventually pits. So the gap's going to come down to what, 20? Still going to be 20 seconds clear. At least. He's not even pushing either. You can see he's not even using any of his ERS. And now let's move back to see if we got any battles. Not quite. CC Brain's pulled ahead of NSX Bass. And has Paco managed to get back in? No, he hasn't. So still, we've only got 10 runners really. So 6 DNFs. Not really what we want to see, but it's kind of what we expected from Monaco, really. But at least Speedster is flying out front. This race is going to be over in no time. Just right on board with Speedster, just see how he's getting on. Up towards, in through Beau Rivage. In through Massenet. Taking quite easy. Casino. Down the hill into Mirabel. Watch for the bump. Manages to avoid a lock-up into the Lowe's hairpin. It's actually called the Grand Hotel hairpin, but I'm used to calling it the Lowe's hairpin. Riding the curb through turn 7 and into Portier. Now, 47-second lead. We all know what happened to Ayrton Senna when he had a lead that big. He piled it into the wall. So that's exactly what Speedster needs to not do. Into the Nouvelle chicane. Very nicely taken into Tabac. Into the swimming pool section now. Very, very quick. Not quite qualifying pace quick, but still. And then through La Rascasse. And Anthony Nodes. Statue of Fangio was just on the corner there. Not quite able to spot it there. Begins lap 24. Now, just noticing Nick closing in on Zach, and at the same time Foxy Dude closing back up to him as well. So, we're going to have a battle for 4th place very, very shortly. So, let's see how that comes to fruition. Just have a look at the standings, just to see who has had podiums out of these guys, which would be an interesting thing to look at. I don't think Zach's had 3 second places in a row. I don't think Nick has had a podium. Just got his first points finish last week. So these guys are on. They're on for their best results. Is Nick? Well, Foxy Dude is right on the back of him as well. Foxy Dude, best finish of P9. So they're all on for their best finish of the season. Zach, this will be his worst finish of the season. Super Guy as well hasn't had a podium this season. Came very, very close on one occasion, but his tyres just cried enough. Ollie really pushing his tyres very far as well. Ollie's had a best finish in 9th, so he's on for a best result as well. You just see Nick closing right up to the back of Zach here. Oh, CC Brain is out of this race. Sector 3. Another retirement to the list. And how we haven't seen a safety car brought out, I do not know. Oh, contact between Foxy and Nick somehow holds on to the car. That would certainly be damage for Foxy Dude. Is that going to be another front wing change for him? Might have got away, but he's pushing hard. You can see a lot of ERS being used. And the pace up front, relentless from Speedster. 50.2 seconds ahead. As we reach the halfway point of this Grand Prix, let's go back to Foxy Dude and Nick, who are the closest battle on track at the moment. So the two Livid Racing workmates, I'll call them, not teammates, on track. Gonna be a good day for the Alfa Romeo lads. With Speedster in the lead and Foxy Dude in a solid P6 at the moment. Racing Point not doing too bad either, 2nd and 8th, but Ollie's going to drop back as a result of pit stops. Williams still in the points. Haas not doing a bad job either. It's Red Bull not having a good day. So through the swimming pool comes Foxy Dude, gets right up underneath him. I think there's a little bit of lag going on right there. Through Anthony Nogues. And Nick will have the DRS on Zach. But it's completely ineffective around Monaco. You don't really get the effects of it because the straight's not nearly long enough. So Super Guy, I've just noticed, he's closed the gap down to Ollie. And I'd reckon as soon as Super Guy catches Ollie, then Ollie's just going to dive into the pit lane. So this will be a net 2nd place for Super Guy. He's on a great charge right now. So technically that does mean that Zach is still in the podium places. So this battle right here is for third, net P3. So Nick, can he grab his first podium? Can Foxy Dude grab his first podium? Can Zach keep his podium streak going? You can just see how much he's close up. He's Ollie going to dive to the pit lane right now, exactly as I predicted. Ollie dives to the pit lane after 25 laps on the medium tyres. And Super Guy moves to second place. And this is now the battle for third. A new front wing on for the Racing Point. Third place for Zach. Fourth place for Nick. And fifth for Foxy Dude. Best result for Nick and Foxy Dude this could potentially be. Zach's worst result, but he's still on for a podium. And he's going to make some gains in the championship too. Don't forget, he's still a championship contender. And Ollie comes out just behind Mikulitsi. So a good long stint on those tyres. And now can Zach, he's on 20 lap old hard compound tyres. He needs to bring them another 10 at least. It's going to be a tough ask for Zach. But if he manages the tyres, you can just see this is the track that it can work, because low tyre wear and minimal overtaking opportunities. Just needs to have no mistakes. So the two Williams running together. Bass has unlapped himself from Super Guy. Meanwhile, 56 seconds up the road is our race leader. Speedster is going to be heading to the pit lane, I would reckon, on this lap. Oh, he's in the wall. And that's going to break his wing. That's going to add another couple of seconds to his pit stop. But he's still so far ahead. It's going to negate the advantage that the Super Guy will gain. He's in the first sector. It's going to be minimal that he gains. And he's going to be on fresh, soft tyres as well. Out he goes. Super Guy is in Portier. That's how far ahead he is. And Speedster, he could grab the fastest lap here as well. Out he comes. 10 laps left to go. And Speedster is untouchable today. So, Ollie now stuck behind Mikulitsi. He's going to have some extra grip on the soft tyres. He's going to think about a move into the Nouvelle chicane. Gets the slipstream, pulls to the inside line. He'll have some great grip. Sticks up the inside. Mikulitsi, they make contact. And Mikulitsi moves out of the way. Zach is into the pit lane. And I just guessed, was it too much to ask to bring the hard tyres another 10 laps? And the answer is yes. Soft tyres and a new front wing. And Ollie's going to move to P5. So now the battle for the podium is between Nick and Foxy Dude, neither of which have scored a podium this season. But you just see the legitimate gap up front is 33 seconds. And Speedster on course for his third win of the year. And go 18 points clear at the top. Now, back to this battle we want to keep an eye on between Foxy Dude and Nick. Their tyres are pretty much identical, 13 lap old mediums to 10 lap old hard tyres. But the more they battle, of course, fresh soft tyres for Ollie, don't count him out just yet. He could pose a threat later on. There's only 10 laps to go now. Of course, what Speedster is going to be doing for entertainment now is how far can he pull that gap out before we reach the end of the race. I reckon he's going to be aiming for a minute. But at least we have an on-track battle for third place. Because otherwise we would have a very, very boring race. Just go back to the back, as Paco has not yet received. So there's Speedster with the fastest lap, and that'll of course add another championship point. So a 26 point 26 points he'll gain. And 19 points clear to the top of the championship. A perfect day for him in the office. Now let's go back to the standings once again to keep an eye on where Zach is. He's come out in 7th and he is 4th in the championship. How far behind Calzo is he? 14 points off him. So he's still going to remain P4. He's going to close the gap to Calzo in the championship. So the battle between Nick and Foxy Dude rages on. It's just going to be Foxy Dude waiting, but he's using a lot of ERS while Nick is just saving his. So you can tell that Foxy Dude is pushing hard. And trying to get himself past Nick here. So where is Speed's on track relative to these guys? He's coming through Sector 1. So in that case, Speed's is on his way to lap 7th place. So there's Foxy Dude, chasing after Nick. On lap 32 of 39. Well, they're not on lap 32 yet. They will be very shortly, as they round Raskas for the 31st time. And here we go. Foxy, does he get a good run at Vancy Knowles? You can see the DRS is working, but he's just not close enough. Through Saint-Devat, up the hill, through Beau Rivage, which you can barely call a corner. Massenet. Casino Square. And into Mirabeau. Through the Lowe's Hairpin. You see Foxy will close up right here, trying to get the exit. But the real test is the exit of Portier. Crucial part of the circuit. On the par with Nick, with a great exit there. Will stay ahead for the rest of this lap, I would reckon, unless he makes a mistake through the middle sector. Nouvelle chicane towards Tabac. And just seen Zach and Mikulicki have swapped positions. So Zach gains a little bit more points. Weaves to thank Mikulicki for letting him through. And he moves to 6th place. So, and Speedster, there's his first penalty. Not that it matters. So I've just been keeping an eye. Ollie, I believe he was about 10 seconds behind. He's now 4.4 seconds behind. This battling is bringing him into play. And he needs him to battle a little bit more. He's running out of time though. Alfie gets a penalty. Now, I've just noticed Super Guy 23 laps on the hards. He lost the podium as a result of pushing the tyres too far. Is it going to be possible again? He'd be running into puncture territory. Now Holly's picked up an unfortunate penalty as soon as I mentioned him. You see how close they get to that barrier on the way to the Nouvelle chicane. It's quite something. And it's risk versus reward ever present in Formula 1. Sideways from Fox to do through there. Through the right-hander, Anthony Nogues. They begin lap 34. Speedster will be coming around to complete lap 35. Begin lap 35, should I say. So not quite the flawless race. He's picked up a 3-second penalty. But he's still unbelievably far ahead. Without a doubt, the most dominant drive I've ever seen ever since I started in ILR. By far. I've never seen a driver win by this margin. Such a talent. So, continuing on, Foxy's still stuck behind Nick, and that podium is tantalisingly close. But Ollie's caught him by another second that lap. He'll be within striking distance with about 2 laps to go. So can Ollie grab this? So we of course keep an eye on track penalties. If we can just have a quick look. I know this looks quite annoying, but need to keep an eye on penalties. So CC Brain, he's out of this race. Paco not running in this race either. Just scrolling through looking for any of the LR guys. LR Foxy gets a warning. Looking quite clean so far. Foxy did another set. He's on a second warning. So Speedster is a penalty. So just 2 warnings for Foxy Dude. And nothing for Nick so far as I can see there. So Ollie, unfortunately, he's going to lose out. Unless they pick up a penalty in the next couple of laps. So Foxy Dude and Nick, this is for position. There's no penalties coming into play here. Which is something that we obviously love to see. We don't want to see penalties deciding the race. So they begin lap 36. As Speedster comes around to complete lap 36, that's how far ahead he is. Lap 37 he begins. So he will be lapping T1000 Zach very shortly. So these guys are almost a lap down. They're not quite though. They haven't been caught by Speedster just yet. But like Speedster is 50 seconds ahead of second place. Now of course Super Guy's on 26 lap old hards and they're going to be past their sell by date. He's just coming around to complete lap 36. Nick is not catching him even though those tyres will be falling off the cliff. And this takes passes into the pit lane again. And Fox Duty looks like he made a mistake there. And he's dropped off the back. As you can see, the DRS, does he still have it? Yes, he does, because he was in the detection point. He's fallen away a little bit and Speedster. He'll be beginning lap 38 as the rest begin, and lap 37. So at this rate, he's pretty much lapped the entire field. He will be almost a lap ahead of the entire field. Unbelievable. So Foxy Dude has he run out of opportunities? Ollie's not quite caught up enough. Runs wide there. There is NSX Bass getting out of the way. Sector that'll be for him. Oh dear. Alfie's binned it on the way into the pit lane. And just to say that Foxy Dude's got a penalty. So that's secured Nick in his 3rd place. But it might give Ollie an opportunity if he can close up a little bit more. Super Guy's pushing these tyres a long, long way. 28 laps. So, as the rest begin lap 38, Speedster begins lap 39 and the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm a little bit dumbfounded, honestly. Never ever seen a drive as dominant as I have today. Led from pole position. And he's been untouchable. Absolutely untouchable all race. And he's going to take a deserved lead in the title. And just up front, I'm just seeing Zach has caught Ollie. So Zach has caught Ollie. As you can see, he says Ollie's had a problem. And is that going to be a move for Zach for 5th place? He goes through, and Ollie lets him through. So that's Zach into P5, which would be good for him. But Speedster comes round through the last sector, and he will take his 3rd win of the season. Just getting up behind Ollie, laps him. Coming through Anthony, no time. Fastest lap, pole. And the race win. He wins the crown jewel. Speedster wins the Monaco Grand Prix by 53.2 seconds over Super Guy, who's on his way to his first podium as well, as is Nick. What an unbelievably dominant drive from Speedster. Never ever seen that. So Super Guy nursing those tyres to the end. 30 laps on a set of hard tyres. He's had poor runs of luck throughout the season, has Super Guy. So I'm delighted for him that it's come together. Just got to negotiate Raskas. And coming through the last corner, Super Guy on his way to his first podium of the season. Well done to him. He's had a poor run of luck, crossed the line for 2nd place. And also, Foxy Dude couldn't quite get past him. Nick through the last corner, runs to the line. 3rd place for Nick in the Red Bull. 4th for Foxy Dude and Zach. It's 4th for Zach actually after Foxy Dude's penalty. And that's it. What more can be said about the Monaco Grand Prix? A snooze fest, as we all expect from Monaco. But Speedster's on the top step for the 3rd time this year. In the single most dominant drive in ILR history, I have to say. Unrivaled. 53-second lead. Super Guy picks up his first podium. Nick picks up his first podium. And Alfa Romeo will make some good strides in the constructors as well. So let's have a look at the official rundown of the order after the Monaco Grand Prix in round 6 of the ILR2 season. Speedster wins by 49.8 seconds ahead of Super Guy and Nick and Zach. They managed to get through without penalties. Foxy Dude managed P5, Ollie a lap down P6, Michelitti a lap down P7, Alfie P8, N6 Bass P9, and Paco is classified as 4 laps down. DNFs: CC Brain, Tom, Calzo, Corey, Darkbolt, and Afri Frisch. And that brings an end to the Monaco Grand Prix. We hope you join us next week at the exact same time, 7 PM, for the Canadian Grand Prix. So I hope you see you then. Thank you, and good night.